You mentioned it in the team huddle there. Never beaten North Carolina before, but to do it 2 weeks in a row with a comeback, just
yeah. I mean, so much respect for North Carolina. They're a fantastic group, fantastic team. I think for us, I spoke a lot in the recap of our last match about the mentality of the group, and that being a part of a momentum for us, the ability to grind a result out, the ability to be resilient to get a result out. I think today they showcased just that yet again. Are there things that we need to improve? Yes. Yes, there are. But the fact is, a result is a result. Points are points. And when you get opportunities and you take advantage of those opportunities, you walk away with points. So I thought today, in reference to our mentality yet again, I think we showcased very good growth, very good opportunity, very good mindset, and put opportunities that we had away. And we get to walk away with the 3 points. So very pleased and very happy for the group.
Yeah, how do you break a team like North Carolina down who likes to hold the ball or have a lot of possession?
Yeah, and I think for us, we talked about different shapes kind of leading into the match, whether they're in that back four and how quickly they invert that fullback to get that 3-2-5. How we felt like we could sit in possibly a 4-2-4 and look to get pressure on those three. We talked about the individual mechanisms of it when we're in wide areas, kind of trapping a little bit more, not allowing to cut inside and dribble inside. And continue to have options. And I think the group adjusted massively from our conversations. I think also towards the tail end of the game, we made a slight adjustment tactically. So I want to shout out the group massively to being on board with that. They came over, we talked about it on the board, what it would look like. We felt like we could still get pressure on the ball, but still have the cover to be able to step into midfield and win some passes centrally. So I think, the group showed massive growth in that space too. To be able to tactically adjust in a game talks about a mentality, talks about a belief, talks about a will and a want to put this game away.
Emma picking off a pass and then beating Murphy. Just tell us about that whole sequence and just how she changed the game.
I thought the subs did a fantastic job. I thought they came in, they brought energy, they understood their roles, and they did a fantastic job. I think she recognized right away that she came from that weak side shoulder, that blind side shoulder, if you will. And I think she knew as soon as, was it Rauch's body shape turned in to play the ball backwards, she was already going. She was already on that front foot. And she trusts her speed. I trust her speed. We all trust her speed in that moment. But it's the recognition for me from the defending mentality to go, I'm going to pick this off and I'm going to put this in the back of the net and get my team back into this game. And again, I think the subs made a massive contribution tonight.
When you think back to the first or the second half in Cary and compared to the second half tonight, what do you attribute that growth to?
Yeah, and I think it's the belief. We talked about it a lot before the game. We feel like we're growing as a group, and we feel like we're doing it in tangent with each other. Meaning we're continuing to push the group, and we like what we're seeing from them tactically, mentally. I think we're growing together as a club, as a whole. It's not pieces. It's not certain players. It's not certain units. It's us as a group, and I think we have that belief, and now we're starting to feel the belong. And for me, that's the biggest attribute to it all, is they're bought into what they know they can do.
How big is it that you did bring in these new players and that they have integrated this quickly?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. Of course, that's what your hopes are. That's what your wants are. Was that going to be your question? Yeah. Great minds think alike. Yes, it's massive. It's massive from obviously what we've seen from them, what they know they can contribute, and then being on with our club and being able to contribute in that fashion this quickly. It's massive. So very, very proud of them.
No questions from Zoom. Is this the talked a lot about peaking at the right time within the course of the year? A question from Tyler is this the type of game that you feel like it's a launching point for the team getting caught up in it?
It's a what? Sorry, I didn't hear you last.
Point for the team getting caught.
Yeah, I think everybody knows right now is the time, right? Right now is the time. I also feel like for us, right now is the time for us to step into what we feel we're doing well and why we're doing it well and why we can add these pieces to our game. Again, tactical adjustments in game, again, wasting time, how we're doing that, what the behaviors look like, what the skill sets look like. Being on the same page and doing it together is massively important for us. So I think right now when you talk about the need to get points to put yourself in a very good position, the group is massively bought into that and is successful in what we need from them right now. And again, it's about putting we know this league. Everybody knows this league. You got to put your opportunities away when you get them, and it changes games. Everybody says goals changes games. Of course, that's incredibly cliche, but the point is when you have an opportunity and you put it in the back of the net, the score is the score, and the players see the score the entire match. We feel it on the sidelines as a staff, and we're constantly trying to coach through it, but it gives you momentum. If the mentality got us into that game in the fashion, the mentality closes us out in that fashion. So I'm very proud.
Anything else for Bev?
In the last couple of games with the comeback wins, has there been any change in the messaging in the locker room that you think may have spurred that on?
No, I feel like, again, we're having another conversation about what momentum is. And I speak a lot about momentum, and oftentimes it's referred to from a footballing perspective. When you're on the ball a lot, you're gaining confidence through that, aren't you? But at some point, you need goals in the back of the net and you need the score line to shout, okay, we're in a good position here. And so for me, I've been pleased with some footballing aspects. Today, I think we could have been better in certain areas. But I think the mentality has showcased and shined itself through that and has gone, okay, how do we sort and how do we still get results when we don't feel like we've been particularly fantastic on the ball and areas that we have to improve? And I think for me, that's what this league is about. That's what this club's about. That's what these players are bought into. Given an opportunity, they'll execute, they get their team and momentum back into it. And that's also a definition of momentum.
All right, thank you.
Good. Thank you. Let me